is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Oh my god. Sound good?
And honestly, now I'm gonna tell you guys the truth, okay? Being completely honest with all of you, it's not just one thing, it's two. Two things. One thing is very personal. It's regarding my health, and I'm not gonna even tell you the details about it, because honestly, someone's health is their own business, unless there's a reason to publicly come out and talk about it. I'm not going to talk about that portion of it at this point. Maybe in the future I will bring it up, but I've been having health problems. I've actually, see, this is the thing. You guys don't even know. I have health problems. I've had chronic health problems my whole life that I never told you about. And it's not the back injury, it's other stuff. And I don't let it affect me, even though I have chronic health problems that I have. I don't tell you about them, and I don't let them try to hinder what I do here on stream or whatever. Okay? But I've been having a few complications that have been negatively affecting me. Let's put it that way. To the point where long-term, could it affect me really badly? Yes. Not yet, but long-term it could. And I am worried about that, and that's always going to be something. Health is something we all worry about all the time, right? So I'm not going to go into detail, but FYI, that's one of the things that's been affecting me. And yes, eventually it could really negatively affect me, all right? But the other thing that's been happening at the same time as that, let's see how I begin here, all right? Just listen to the whole story. Don't assume and jump off or at any point. Listen to the whole story. Here's the whole story. When I started, way back when I started doing YouTube for a job back in 2011, okay?
I'm more about looking forward than looking back.
I knew that this was going to be something different, something weird. It's not like having a normal job, a 9-to-5 job. It's not like it's easy to keep track of all your finances and everything, right? It's going to be very difficult. I'm going to have to keep an expense, a running budget. You know, here's all the expenses I spent on the business that maybe I can, do a write-off on my taxes. Here's my money. Do I want to keep a separate bank account? Very, very complicated to do what I do.
Wow.
All right, it is. And every year, it's a nightmare to try to figure out at that one time of the year when I have to figure out, gee, what do I owe taxes on this? Do I owe that? Do I get a refund this year? Do I roll it over? How many expenses can I write off? And so, when I started way back when making money doing YouTube full-time, I got a tax attorney to be my full-time tax attorney. Now, I didn't just get any old tax attorney.
I did research.
All right, I did research. This is back when I lived in Connecticut, back in around, I'd say, was it? I'm trying to remember if it was 2011. I don't remember the first year that I actually did this. Okay. So, I did research. I found a guy in Connecticut, 30 years experience, actually taught accounting and finance at universities before, okay, and had these awards and degrees, and it wasn't his full-time job to do it 100% of the time, but it was one of his sources of income that during a year he had clients who he would do their taxes for them. And when I lived in Connecticut, from 2011 to 2014, when I was doing this as a full-time job, my taxes were done through him. And every year what I would do is I put together this spreadsheet of all my expenses and send all the information to him. And he basically put it together so that it would be easy, all right? An easy system, no problems, nothing, Every year I just sent him the information. He has a couple questions. Boom, we file, we're done, all right? And I pay a shit ton of taxes. Now, one of the major reasons why I wanted to get out of Connecticut is because Connecticut has what's called a state personal income tax, meaning whatever you earn in the state of Connecticut, the state takes income away from you every year as a tax. So does the federal government. Now, the state doesn't take nearly as much as the federal government, okay? But they take a decent chunk. And I was like, man, I could literally leave the state of Connecticut and move anywhere that doesn't have a state income tax, or I could move to a state that has a much lower income tax and pay less taxes. And what would be the loss? I work from home. I live stream. Right? So, what's the big deal if I were to move out of Connecticut and go somewhere else and do this? I'd be basically just making more money doing it because I don't have to pay all these exorbitant taxes that I'm paying in Connecticut. So at the time, all right, I did some research on what states did not have personal income tax. I started looking for houses. You all remember this. If you're longtime viewers, you remember this. It was like 2013, and then 2014, I actually started house hunting. And at that time, I was in constant communication with my tax attorney saying, gee, what would happen if I were to move, say, to Washington or to Texas or to one of these states that doesn't have a personal income tax? He says, basically, that was it. You just don't pay personal income tax. You just pay the federal. You're good to go. I was like, wow, that's great. That would be really exceptional. And so as things progressed, right, more and more, Eventually, I came out here in April of 2014 to Seattle area, Washington. I saw several homes while I was out here with my then girlfriend, and we decided on this house. We thought this house was the perfect fit for us. And before I ever took one single step towards buying this house, okay, I up front asked my tax attorney 2 important questions. I said, number 1, are there any other taxes that I'm going to have to pay if I move to the state of Washington outside of the federal income tax? That's number 1. He said, no, it's just the personal federal income tax you'll have to pay. Number 2, I asked him, in writing, I still have the fucking email. I said, since I'm moving to Washington State, doesn't it make sense that I should get a tax attorney out here who basically has more knowledge of the state laws and stuff like that? To, they'll be more knowledgeable about that. So basically, I'm going to say goodbye to you. After this year of taxes, once I move to Washington in the summer, I'm going to basically not need your services anymore. That makes sense, right? And he came back to me and said,
Oh no, I'm still able to handle all of your tax concerns. No problem whatsoever. You'll still be fine. Don't worry about it. I can take care of it. I'll do the research. I'm well versed, and we'll take care of I'll still take care of your taxes for you, no matter what. Okay?
Okay, right? I'm not the professional here. He is. This is his job. He's a tax attorney. I'm not even exaggerating, guys. I've paid this guy ridiculous amounts of money. One year I think I paid him, I'm not exaggerating, $1,500 to do my taxes, okay? That was the year that it was the most convoluted. I had, the most income streams, and I had all this shit going on, and it was a lot of extra work, and he had to get it together, all right? I paid this guy a ridiculous amount of money to do my taxes. Now, you may not realize this, all tax attorneys cost about that much, all right? The only other alternative is to do your taxes yourself, which I never would have done right. I would have fucked them up. I wouldn't have done the right write-offs and stuff. Or you could go to a place like Jackson Hewitt or H&R Block, and they charge around $500. But again, they're not full-time tax attorneys like this guy is, okay? So, that's what happened. I moved across the country to Washington State as of, what was that? I think it was July 2014. I was told, don't worry about state income taxes anymore. Obviously, you're not going to owe Connecticut. You don't live there anymore, right? And no big deal, just pay the federal and you're good to go. So I did that from, middle of 2014 until now. And, everything's fine, no problems or nothing, all right? You're not going to believe this. You're seriously not going to believe this. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This whole situation I'm in, yes, it is, I'll tell you right now, my tax attorney is at fault for some of the stuff that happened. But wait till you hear the full story. You're not going to fucking believe it. Are you ready? Get ready. Hold on to your butts. So I noticed about early on this year, probably early to middle 2017, I started to get all these extra mailings in the mail, right? Magazines, ads, trade papers. I'm talking construction magazine, science, scientist doctor publishing, right? And I'm looking at this shit now. I know I didn't subscribe to any of it. And it says on it, on the mailing, addressed to DsPgaming. Interesting, right? So I start getting all this mail about DsPgaming. And I'm like, why am I getting all this mail I never signed up for DsPgaming? And like I said, it's all business-related, trade-related mailings. I'm not exaggerating, folks. I'm not even exaggerating. Right now, every 3 days, my mailbox is full. Because whoever this was that did this signed me up for every possible free publication that there is regarding business and trade, and I'm getting every 3 days a stack of mail this high that fills the mailbox. So every 3 days I have to go empty the mailbox because someone did this to me, okay?
That's insanity.
So that happened, and I've been putting up with that all year. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. I just got to put up with it and throw it out. That's what I do. I shred it. I shred it all. It goes to the recycling. All of a sudden, oh God, now I can't remember if it was even late August or early September at this point, all right? I get a letter in the mail stating that due to some information that has come across the desk of someone, that they suspect
that I, Phil Burnell, own a business called DsPgaming, and I'm doing business in the state of Washington, but I'm not doing it properly. I never registered the business, which is legally required in the state of Washington, and I'm not paying taxes. Anything for this, right?
Now, to clarify, not personal income tax. There's no state personal income tax in the state of Washington. However, in the state of Washington, they have what's apparently, which I don't know, I'm not a tax attorney, it's called It's some kind of a business. I don't even know the technical thing, but some kind of a business tax that if you're self-employed in Washington and if you fit certain criteria, like you make a certain amount of money, you get income from certain sources, or you receive certain tax documents from the people who you have contractual agreements with, you're required to register as a business and to pay this business tax in the state of Washington, okay? So I get this letter, and I'm looking at it like, what the hell is this, man? Are you serious? Like, what could this be? Could this be true? This is bullshit. And I read it, I'm like, well, I don't own my own business. I don't, I'm not registered. I don't own my own business. I don't. Legally, there's no business out there that's called DsPgaming. DsPgaming is just a YouTube channel, right? There's no business called DsPgaming. It doesn't exist. So I knew right from the criteria listed in the letter that this wasn't correct, that something was not right here. So I called the guy back and left him a voicemail explaining. I said, listen, you got it wrong. I don't own my own business. I'm not buying or selling. I'm not doing a service. It's internet-based videos that people put ads on. It's way different from what you're describing in your letter. Therefore, I don't think I'm qualified under. You don't have to worry about it or whatever. So he came back to me and he says, well, I got to do my due diligence here. Okay. So at that point, I tried to get my tax attorney from Connecticut involved. All right, I tried to say, what's going on here? This guy is saying that maybe I qualify for having to register as a business and pay business tax and all of this. What's going on? All right, and at the same time, I was still in contact with this guy who apparently was investigating me. So I asked him, I said, I'm just curious, how did this happen? How did you find out about DsPgaming? Because it's not registered anywhere or anything like that. And he said, well,
we got an anonymous tip about a company called DsPgaming that apparently was operating in Washington State. And the real reason that we got a whiff of you is because you were on a mailing list for small businesses in the state. Like, you're registered on all of them. If you take a look, it's DsPgaming. It says you're the sole proprietor, and it lists your address, and they signed you up for all of these. I said, well, that makes sense. Man, I'm stupid.
Because that's why I'm getting these contractor magazines. That's why I'm getting all these business-related mailings that I didn't sign up for. That's why I'm getting them all. Someone went out there with my information and registered me as a small business on all these free mailing lists. And then whoever it is that takes care of, the state tax or business tax in Washington got an anonymous tip and went out and looked and said, oh, look at this. If they're registered for these mailings, they must be real. And then they started investigating me.
Unbelievable.
That's what's going on. So that's what happened initially. So I go to my tax attorney and I say, listen, we got to get you in the loop. You've got to talk to this guy because I don't know anything about this. You told me you were taking care of this when I moved out here. Obviously, it sounds like this guy's mistaken. Let's figure this out together. And as I told him that, I actually had a thing. It's like an authorization form that my tax attorney would have to fill out in order to communicate with my personal info. It's like permission for him to give my personal info to this guy who's inquiring about business tax, okay? I send him the form and he goes, Phil, I don't know if I'm comfortable filling out this form. I really feel that at this point, since it seems like, this might be something serious, you should get a tax attorney in the state of Washington.
That's your fault. You're the one who created that economic situation. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you fucking serious? I'm not a whiny baby.
Keep in mind, this guy, 30 years experience as a tax attorney, taken thousands of dollars from me, all right, to do my taxes over the years. He blatantly, I have it in writing from him, in an email that I saved on purpose. In writing, it says, you do not have to get another attorney. I will still be your tax attorney. He's taking on all that responsibility for me moving and doing my taxes properly in the state of Washington.
I'm a brain-dead idiot.
Literally says, well, I think you should just get another tax attorney now in Washington. So I went back to him, as politely as I possibly could, because it wasn't very polite. And I told him, absolutely not. You're responsible for this. You were the one. I have it in writing. You can't try to, weasel your way out of it. I have it in writing stating that you were taking on this responsibility. And I think that you need to fill out this form and start talking to this guy right away. Okay? So he did. My tax attorney filled out the form, apparently sent it to the guy and said, I'm willing to talk with you or whatever. So then I went back to the guy who was investigating me for this business tax. And he even said, I recommend at this point, since it seems like your attorney from Connecticut is trying to shirk responsibility, you go get an attorney in Washington who's going to be able to analyze the situation, or else, I'm going to end up holding you liable, and maybe you're not, You got to do your due diligence, cover yourself. Okay. So, I did two things. The first thing I did is I did research legally online, and I said, I wonder what the liability is of a tax attorney who blatantly lies in an email and says that they're going to do due diligence and basically negligent, because let's say, for example, the state of Washington finds me guilty of not filing business taxes for 3 years, right? Because now at this point, that was, August, September, so it was around 3 years at that point of unfiled business taxes, if that's the case. what's the liability on the tax attorney who screwed up? And I found my answers. The answers are simple. Basically, I'm responsible for the money, the actual tax money. I would be responsible 100% for the tax money that's owed to the state. Okay, no matter what, because I owed it if I owed it. All right? Now, what I could do is I could sue my former tax attorney.
Why am I toxic?
For fees, damages, and interest. Because basically, when you have unpaid taxes for an extended period of time, you get fees that are associated with that, late fees, as well as interest that's accrued on that makes it even higher. Plus, there may be, like, you know, let's say, for example, well, I had to get another tax attorney, and I had all this cost and everything. I could try to sue my former tax attorney for all of that. Now, that would take forever. It would take years. It would have to go through claims court. It's basically going to be, it would be a very time-consuming and an expensive process. And the problem is, my former tax attorney is in Connecticut, so it would be a nightmare for me to do that because I'm not there, right? So basically, I'm shot. Like, I don't know how I could get anything out of my former tax attorney because I don't have... Number one, I just told you guys, I'm strapped for cash. I'm literally living paycheck to paycheck. I have just enough money to pay for everything I need to pay for. How am I going to have enough money and time to sue this guy when I have to keep streaming and keep paying the bills and everything? It's not possible. I can't do it, okay? The other thing I did, all right? The other thing I did is I got a new tax attorney, all right? Now, this new tax attorney, no surprise, all right? No surprise. Very expensive, all right? No lie, I'm not gonna lie. $800 just to retain the services of this attorney, which I don't have. I had to put it, guess what? On a credit card. Which I desperately am running out of credit. I have almost no credit left. I'm to the point where I'm massively overextended. The way it was working was I was paying everything down to the point where every 4 months I could pay my taxes, which would bring all my credit cards and shit back up, and then I would pay it down gradually, and then the taxes would do again, it would go up, you know? So I'm like, you know, on the ends of my extension here. I'm completely overextended. I have no liquidity. I'm to the point where I can't afford anything, okay? So I have to get a new tax attorney. I had a meeting with this tax attorney. Didn't tell you guys, but this was all happening behind the scenes. That's what I mean. All this shit was happening behind the scenes for months. And basically, the tax attorney told me he thinks I do owe some kind of business tax. He doesn't necessarily know how much, because there's some factors involved. What's qualified as a certain kind of income versus another kind of income. What's business taxable and what's not. And in addition to that, the fact that because now I haven't paid business taxes for 3 years.
That's insanity.
Since I've lived in Washington. There's not only going to be the taxes that I owe, but there's going to be those fees, interest. And he says, I told him the whole situation. And he basically said, listen, this is extenuating circumstances where you, number one, there's no way legally you could have enough knowledge to know what you owed for taxes here or not. Number two, you have it in writing from a 30-year experienced tax attorney in Connecticut saying that he was doing it right and that he would do it. So basically, you have extenuating circumstances to prove your innocence. So somehow, he might be able to get some of what I owe disbanded, okay? But the problem here is that there's still going to be a chunk of money, all right, that apparently I'm going to owe. And the question is, what's the amount going to be? We don't know. It's probably, and he gave me an estimate. He says, just a rough estimate. It's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. It's not going to be $10,000, but it could be thousands of dollars. And the problem is, with the interest, fees, all that's going to be associated with not paying this for years, it could end up being way more. It could balloon because of that, all right?
I'm here to play games.
So, basically, I'm in a position where I'm screwed. And I said, so what's the next step? What in the holy hell do we do? He said, well, what we need to do is we need to talk with this guy from the business department or whatever, work with him, figure out exactly what he wants us to do, you know, go with his wishes, and basically get you to consider what's called tax compliant status, all right? So basically, take care of the back end shit before I worry about the future shit, okay? Now, what he thought is he's saying, since this is a extenuating circumstance, and I told him all about my finances and everything. I was like, listen, sorry, I just don't have the money. Like, if you right now put down a $5,000 to $7,000 tax bill in front of me and said, Phil, you owe this, I have no money to pay it. I don't have enough credit to pay it. Nothing. Couldn't pay it. There's nothing I could do to pay you. It would just go delinquent, you know? And he's like, well, what I think I'm gonna try to do, all right, is I'm going to try to get it so that whatever you owe ends up being on a payment plan. And he says, I've seen payment plans that have gone as long as 5 years. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that for you. Maybe I could get you on a 3-year. But what I'm going to try to explain to this guy during this process is there's no way you have the money to just pay him. So if he wants his money, he has to wait, and he's going to have to be working with you because it wasn't your fault. You didn't know you owed this money. You know, if I had known I owed the money, I would have budgeted. I would have had it and been paying it all along, right? So that's one issue. The other issue, all right, is that now moving forward, I also have to start paying this tax, and I've been told that basically whatever this tax is going to be for the year of 2017, which we have no idea yet, it hasn't been calculated yet, is going to be due on January 31st of 2018. What's it going to be? Could it be $1,000? $3,000? I don't even know what it is. And again, I don't have it. You know what I mean? I just don't have it.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
Now the good news is, this is not absolutely world-ending horrendous yet. All right? The good news is a few things. Number one, and no, by the way, this is not the IRS. People are saying IRS, IRS. The IRS is from the federal government. That's not what this is at all. This is completely different. It's state-based. That's why when people are saying, oh, it was the IRS. No, it's not the IRS. The IRS has nothing to do with this. And by the way, thank God, I confirmed with the new tax attorney, my taxes are good in the federal level. Like he says, everything here's right. He's like, this guy did everything perfect at the federal level. It was just he didn't file anything for business taxes when you moved, and that's his fault. Okay? But, you know, federal level, you're good. So, thank God 2 tax attorneys now are telling me that my major taxes were done properly. Fuck, that would have killed me if I thought that was the case. My God, can you imagine that? That would have been tens of thousands of dollars, and that would have been it. That would have been the end for me, completely. The thing I'm nervous about, 2 things, okay? Number one, what's going to happen when they finally determine how much I actually owe for these supposed back taxes, and how am I going to pay it? What's the payment plan going to be? How much a month? Especially now that I'm living month to month as it is with the money that I'm making. And number 2, what's this oncoming looming payment going to be on January 31st that I'm going to owe? Because I don't know yet. I'm supposed to find out probably sometime in December, all right? So, ladies and gentlemen, the good news is, at least these past couple of months have been good. If you guys haven't noticed, things have been up. I've been telling you guys things have been up. I just did that special promotional event with Twitch a month ago, and, you know, I made some money doing that, additional money, that normally would not have been in, you know, something for me, so I made some additional money there. YouTube in the month of October was up. Sadly, now in November, it looks like it's back down, but for the month of October, YouTube was up, and I made some extra money there. And you guys, with your support on streams, have been contributing significantly as well, to the point where it's helping, okay? It's helping. But I'm being real here with you guys. Like I said, I don't have the full story. I can't give you the full information. I don't know what I owe yet. I don't know when it's going to be due. But it looks to me like if I just keep making what I was making this year, I'm screwed. And literally, I have no way to pay it. So more than likely, what would end up happening is I'm going to get hit with a giant bill from whoever this is, business department or whoever they are. Here's your bill. You owe this many thousands of dollars. And I'm going to say, sorry, guys, I don't have it. But what I'm going to have to do is sell my house. That's the only money I have. I have equity in this house. The good news is, since I moved here in 2014, the equity in this house has gone up. I don't know exactly how much. I know a few houses in this area have sold for a lot of money, but they weren't necessarily in this complex, so I don't know what my house would sell for. In addition, selling the house is a very time-consuming process. I'd have to get the house ready to be listed, which is going to take at least a month to start selling shit out of this house, right? I have to sell all the furniture. I have to sell all the shit that's in the house to get it I have to have people come in and start preparing the house, which I don't have money, so I don't know how I'm going to pay people to come in and have the house ready to be sellable. Just the walls of this office has all this soundproofing foam that's stuck to it. That's going to destroy the paint. I'm going to have a full paint job redone on the house and everything. I don't have money for it, so how am I going to do that, right? And then I'm going to have to put the house up for sale, right? List it. See what happens. Will it get listed? Will it get purchased? How quickly will it get purchased? How much money will I make on the purchase? How long will it take for me to actually get the money from the sale of the house? Then I got to worry about finding a new place. I got to figure out what I can afford. If I can afford a place out here, a smaller place, or if I'm going to move back all the way to Connecticut. Right? It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up because, again, I told you guys months ago, alright?
The rantings of like a 5-year-old. This has nothing to do with me. I did nothing wrong. I paid a guy with 30 years of experience who assured me he knew what he was doing to do my taxes properly, and he did not do due diligence when I moved across the country to make sure I was doing my business taxes properly.
He didn't even do research at all. He basically just said, there's no state income tax, you don't owe it, and he never went the next step. Now, 3.5 years later, he's shirking all responsibility, like he never told me that he could still be my tax attorney, which is insane. It's absolutely insane, okay? That's the situation I'm in. I can't sue the guy because I have no money to do it. Any money that I make has to go towards whatever I owe these taxes before I think of anything, right? Before I consider anything. So that's the position I'm in. And the problem is, it's a short time frame. Like, basically, I'm going to find out by the end of the year what I owe. They're going to expect me to start paying it back in 2018. Plus, I'm going to have this big payment of whatever they think I owe for business taxes for the whole year of 2017 that I'm going to have to pay by the end of January. And then I'm going to have an ongoing payment of whatever this back taxes are every single month. And then, by the way, I still got to pay my federal taxes. Those haven't changed. So I'm still going to have to pay that on top of all of this. So it's ridiculous, man. It really, and just think about this now. Seriously. This is what I'm trying to do. Every day I'm coming to stream. I'm trying to put out entertaining streams for you guys and gals. And I'm trying to act like nothing's wrong. And I'm trying to act like there's no stress. And I am incredibly stressed to the point where, you know, like I said, I can't sleep at night. I'm not feeling good because of this. And I don't know what's going to happen, guys. Because the thing is, there's no easy solution. There's no easy, even if I have to sell the house, I still can't sell the house fast enough to pay the taxes. So there's no way to do it. No matter what, I'm going to get screwed somehow. The question is, what's the degree of screwing I'm going to receive? Okay?
You don't want to be butt-fucked. Trust me.
Am I going to get a minor screw job where they're very nice and they give me an easy payment plan that's not an exorbitant amount of money every month? They understand the situation, or they're just going to say, fuck you, and just hit me with thousands and thousands of dollars of tax bill and just pay it, and if you don't pay it, fuck you, we'll keep accruing fees on it. You know what I mean? This really sucks. This really fucking sucks. And again, it's not, you did nothing wrong, I did nothing wrong, I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct, legally.
You have to be brain dead fucking stupid to believe that.
Everything was right, and now I get fucked. On top of all the shit that, just think of this year.
I'm more about looking forward than looking back.
YouTube ad revenue plummets. Machinima relationship falls apart. Get fooled into trying to join an MCN on YouTube that promises me the world and lies to me, so I have to quit and go back to curse immediately. Breaking up with my girlfriend, fiance. Oh, by the way, I didn't even mention false copyright strikes. Remember the false copyright strikes I had in the summer? Right? That almost shut down DsPgaming. Forgot to mention those. Getting signed up for all these business mailings and basically being registered, even though I'm not, as a business in Washington, even though I'm not a business. You know what I mean? Which then tips off, because an anonymous tip, gee, I wonder who that was, who tipped off this business department that supposedly I'm doing business in Washington and not paying taxes. And now, on top of it, and then health, too. Like I said, some health stuff's been coming up, too. And it's all at once. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what the flaming fuck am I supposed to do? You know? What did I ever do? What did I ever do to anyone on this planet that they would literally try to end me? This is what this is. This is because it wouldn't end. Even if I lose the house and I move back to Connecticut, they still will get out. They'll still come for me. They're still gonna, you know what I mean? It's not gonna end. They're still gonna be coming for me.
Give their money, give their money. Then that's all I care about. Anything for this, right?
So that's the situation, everyone. So honestly, first of all, I want to say to everyone, thank you.
Thank you, you fucking worthless humans.
Because this year, the streams have been a relief. Me coming to stream and sharing gameplay with you and having fun with games again has been a fucking huge relief for me from all the shit and stress that's been going on behind the scenes. It's been really hard to keep this story in for 2 months and not tell you guys anything about it. It really has. And by the way, don't plan on me giving you many updates unless I have concrete ones, because, you know, I don't want to just keep dragging this along. I don't want this to be the subject of every stream. I just want to continue like I've been doing and having fun with gameplay or whatever. I don't want it to be every day talking about this shit. Alright? And I want to say, I mean, people are being tremendously generous right now. You're seeing people are subbing and tipping, and I appreciate it. I really do.
I don't understand what they were thinking. Some people are just fucking idiots. What else can I say? You gotta be an idiot.
And that adds up and helps immensely. Don't get me wrong. This helps immensely with all this shit going on. The problem being, I know I'm gonna owe thousands of dollars, and, you know, if someone just said in the stream chat something, doesn't Phil have one, like, really exorbitantly rich fan who could bail him out? I'm not asking for that. That would be, so, I'm so grateful you guys have saved my fucking ass this year so many times already, and made the streaming so much more fun and just everything, that I would feel fucking bad if I was here asking you for that. That's crazy.
What?
Alright? All I can ask you to do is to keep doing what you've been doing, and we just gotta see what happens. Alright? We just gotta see what happens. We gotta play it by ear and see what happens. Shout out to Floyd Sucks, who tipped me $2.
Well, guess what? You're a fucking idiot.
Shout out to Mujtaba, who did a 10-bit cheer, and says, "Kid, you prove it's not a business and not have to pay the 3 years of unpaid business tax." No, the point I'm making is, if my tax attorney from Connecticut did due diligence and did research, he would have found out that people who make certain kinds of money have to be registered as a business, and I probably was supposed to and didn't, and that's why I'm now responsible for this tax, and it's his fault, because if he had done that research up front, the day I moved here, I would have registered as a business and started paying the tax, and I didn't, and it's his fault.
The country of Afghanistan tipped me $50. I love it when I see the stupidity. A pimp-ass bitch tipped me $100. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Are you a functional retard? I have to ask.
Why? Oh, a troll. Troll tip of $2, so I ignore you.
Why am I toxic?
Astro Jetboy did a 10-bit cheer. He says, does it feel a little better getting it off your chest? It does. You know it does. Even though I know saying this and getting this off my chest isn't going to help anything. Now it's hot in here, by the way. That's why I'm opening the door again. Even though I know it's not going to, it might not make anything better. It's better at least get it off. Now you guys know what I'm going through. You guys understand what's happening, you know? You understand why some nights I can't fucking sleep. I'm like, am I close to the last night in my house? This is bullshit, you know? But it does feel a little better to finally get it off my chest now that you guys know what's going on. Although I couldn't, again, the health thing, I can't reveal everything. At least now you know partially what's going on.
Unbelievable how people get fooled by this shit. Seriously, I'm gonna need your guys' help. I really am. I'm gonna need your support. I need it. There's people who depend on me. What? What? There's people who, they find me, I mean, I believe, as an inspiration. What? I've been doing this for 10 years, and every possible fucking thing that's been thrown at me, I've found a way to get through. I've got to find a fucking way to get through this. I have to.
Phil's my daddy did a 10-bit cheer. He said, let's buy a lottery ticket this week. I buy a lottery ticket every week. Once a week, I buy a lottery ticket, just in case. Because, hey, that $1 or $2 a week, maybe one day, right? Fuck, man. And honestly, and I'll be real with everyone. If I ever hit the lotto, you know, first thing I would do, turn off Patreon, turn off cheering, tipping. I don't need your money. I'm here to have fun, and I would not stop making streams. I would still be here. I would still be here, because I love it.
I love doing this. I love doing this. I love streaming. I love talking to you guys. I love gaming. I did it as a hobby before I did it as a job. I'm here because I love what I fucking do. Not this. And that's why all this is so bad. Anything for this, right?
IRS came for DSP, did a 16-bit cheer, said, it's okay, Phil, we love you. YOLO Dobber did a 10-bit cheer. He said, didn't you research what that Washington takes business tax? That's pretty much like your state tax in Connecticut.
Dude, I am not a tax attorney. I am not a tax attorney. I had a tax attorney who I paid to do that for me to make sure I'm doing it right. Why would I then go and research it myself too? That's the point. That's why you pay someone like that lots of money to do the right thing. Why am I toxic? Your bully, your what? Your bull Tyrone did a 30-bit cheer and said, Fappy Wanks Giving. Oh my God. Golden Colts just did a 845-bit cheer. You're an idiot. You paid me money. All of your mothers just tipped me $100. This guy fucking sucks my dick. That was delicious.
Thank you, guys. Fuck. Thank you. Wow. It's still going. I can't stop. You guys keep going. This is amazing.
Oh my God. I just got another $100 tip from the king. He says, stay strong. Thank you. I got paid for your stupidity.
Thank you, guys. Fuck. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so tired, but I'm happy that I got off my chest and you guys are being supportive and, you know. Thank you, guys. Wow. Thank you. 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 Thank you.
If I could get down on my hands and knees and say thank you and still be on camera, I would do it. Okay? I seriously would do it. Oh my God. Fluffy Shits just tipped me $100. Thanks for the money, stupid fuck.
Who? Negate. Just tipped me $10. Says Happy Thanksgiving, Phil. Thank you, everyone.
Good job. Thanks for the money. You're stupid. Thank you, Dooley, for a $5 tip. I appreciate the tip. And I'm $5 richer, so thanks, moron. Thanks for the money, dummies. Because that's exactly what you fucking are. A bunch of fucking empty-headed idiots who paid me money to get absolutely nothing out of it. Thanks. Wow. I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. I have a micro penis. Alright, I'm not dead, but I swear to God I wish I fucking was.